Perched off the rugged, windswept coast of Nova Scotia, shrouded in mist and ancient lore, lies Oak Island. For centuries, this unassuming patch of land has held the world captive with its enigmatic whispers of buried treasure, a tantalizing enigma known as the Money Pit. It is a tale woven with threads of obsession, tragedy, and an unyielding human fascination with the unknown, a narrative that has claimed fortunes, hopes, and even lives. The legend began in 1795 when a young man named Daniel McGinnis, exploring the island, stumbled upon a peculiar depression in the earth. Intrigued, he enlisted two friends, John Smith and Anthony Vaughan, to help him investigate. Their initial excitement was palpable as they began to dig, quickly unearthing layers of meticulously placed logs, spaced every 10 feet, interspersed with coconut fiber, clay, and charcoal. This was no natural phenomenon. It was a deliberate, monumental construction, hinting at something significant, yet stubbornly elusive hidden deep below. Each discovery fueled their conviction that they were on the verge of uncovering an unimaginable fortune. Their efforts, however, were rudimentary, and the true scale of the island's defenses soon became apparent. By the early 1800s, the Onslow Company, the first serious syndicate of treasure hunters, arrived, armed with greater resources but no less naivete. They were met not with gold but with ingenious booby traps and the island's most formidable guardian, complex flood tunnels that repeatedly inundated the Money Pit with seawater, thwarting every attempt. It was during this period that the island claimed its first victim, a worker tragically killed when a hoisting rope snapped. The mystery deepened, the danger amplified, and the island's reputation as a cursed place began to solidify. Decades later, in the mid-1800s, the Truro Company, equipped with more advanced drilling techniques, reignited the quest. Their probes reportedly brought up fragments of wood, metallic objects, and even parchment. Most famously, they claimed to have discovered a mysterious stone slab bearing cryptic inscriptions, a coded message that tantalized and frustrated in equal measure. Yet, the relentless flooding persisted, swallowing equipment and hopes, reinforcing the island's malevolent grip. Into this legacy of unfulfilled promises and escalating peril steps Elias Thorne. He is a man whose very veins seem to pulse with the island's history, a direct descendant of one of those early, hopeful treasure seekers. Elias carries not just his family name, but the heavy burden of their collective failures, an inherited obsession that has shaped his entire existence. The island is not just a place of legend for him. It is a personal challenge, a puzzle left unsolved by generations of his kin. His family history is inextricably intertwined with the Money Pit, a tapestry of ambition and defeat. The psychological impact of the Oak Island legend permeates the community. Whispers of ancient curses, supernatural protection, and the island's insatiable appetite for human endeavor abound. Financial ruin and emotional devastation are the silent tolls exacted upon those who dare to seek its secrets. Elias, acutely aware of this history, feels the immense pressure to succeed where so many before him have faltered. But Elias is not alone in his relentless pursuit. A fierce rival emerges in Cassandra Vance, a sharp, ambitious historian who initially dismissed the treasure hunt as folklore, but has since been drawn into its magnetic pull. Her meticulous research and analytical mind represent a stark contrast to Elias's more visceral ancestral connection. Their initial encounter is charged with a palpable tension, a clash of wills and methodologies that hints at future conflicts. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. One evening, amidst the dusty relics of his family home, Elias makes a profound discovery. Tucked away in a forgotten sea chest, he unearths an old leather-bound journal belonging to a distant relative. Its brittle pages, filled with faded ink, promise not just clues but a stark, unsettling warning. The journal, its leather cover cracked with age, became Elias Thorne's singular focus, eclipsing all else. He spent countless nights hunched over its fragile pages, deciphering the faded script, each word pulling him deeper into his family's shadowed past. The cryptic entries slowly began to yield their secrets, revealing not only new clues to the Money Pit's elaborate design, but also a shocking narrative of betrayal within one of the earliest treasure-hunting syndicates. The journal hinted darkly at a deliberate sabotage, an act that had condemned generations to fruitless searching. This revelation gnawed at Elias, questioning the very foundation of his lineage. His relentless dedication to the island, fueled by this newfound information, strained his relationship with his family, who watched with growing concern as he poured every resource, every waking moment, into the relentless pursuit. Their worried glances and quiet pleas fell on deaf ears, for Elias was now irrevocably bound to the island's enigma. Meanwhile, Cassandra Vance pursued her own meticulous investigation, her sharp intellect cutting through centuries of speculation. She delved into dusty archives and obscure historical documents, unearthing tantalizing evidence that suggested a far grander, more complex origin for the treasure than mere pirate loot. Her research pointed towards the Knights Templar, perhaps even a forgotten cache from the Elizabethan era, hinting at a historical significance that transcended mere gold. Her scientific, methodical approach stood in stark contrast to Elias's intuitive, family-driven quest, yet both were propelled by an unyielding drive to uncover the truth. Cassandra, too, faced immense financial and personal pressures, the weight of her ambition pressing down on her. Independently, yet simultaneously, both Elias and Cassandra secured the necessary funding and permits, their separate expeditions converging on the fateful shores of Oak Island. The money pit, long dormant, was once again disturbed, its depths probed by modern machinery. As their teams began to excavate, the island's legendary defenses resurfaced with chilling predictability. The same ingenious booby traps, the same insidious flood tunnels that had plagued previous generations, now threatened their efforts. During a particularly precarious phase of the excavation, a near-fatal accident occurred when a support beam unexpectedly collapsed, narrowly missing several workers. The incident served as a brutal reminder of the island's inherent dangers, a tangible manifestation of its malevolent reputation. Elias, poring over the journal with renewed urgency after the accident, uncovered further evidence that unveiled the full scope of the betrayal. The entries explicitly named a specific ancestor, revealing his calculated sabotage of an early treasure hunt. The motive, however, was not greed. This ancestor had acted to protect a profound secret, convinced that the treasure was better left untouched, believing it harbored a devastating curse. Elias grappled with this revelation, the image of his family's honor fracturing under the weight of such a complex deception. The ancestor, he realized, had deliberately perpetuated the myth of a curse to deter others, to safeguard something far more precious than gold. Their paths inevitably crossed again amidst the chaos of the renewed excavations. Elias, armed with his family's dark secrets, and Cassandra, with her meticulously researched theories, clashed fiercely. Their initial confrontation was a heated argument, a tempest of conflicting theories and methodologies, each convinced of their own path. Yet, a shared discovery, a unique geological anomaly deep within the money pit, coupled with a mutual near disaster involving a sudden, unexpected deluge, forced them to reconsider. The island's secrets, they both realized, were too intricate, too deeply entrenched, for any single individual to unravel. An uneasy, temporary alliance began to form, born out of necessity and a grudging respect for each other's tenacity. As if sensing their combined efforts, the island seemed to retaliate with renewed fury. A catastrophic equipment failure, followed by a sudden, inexplicable flood that submerged a newly excavated shaft, brought their progress to a grinding halt. The island seemed almost alive, actively resisting their intrusions, fueling the ancient curse narrative that whispered through the sea air. The emotional toll escalated dramatically when one of their team members suffered severe injuries during the latest incident, a stark reminder of the island's unrelenting danger. Elias, witnessing the mounting setbacks and the human cost, began to question his unwavering pursuit, his ancestors' dire warning echoing in his mind. Cassandra, usually the epitome of rational thought, found herself increasingly acknowledging the inexplicable, almost supernatural nature of the island's resistance. Then, amidst the rubble and despair, they stumbled upon it. A hidden chamber, unlike anything depicted on any known map. Inside, nestled within a small alcove, lay a single ornate locket, its silver tarnished with age. The locket, when opened, revealed a miniature portrait and a cryptic message, hinting not at material wealth but at something far more personal and potentially devastating. The miniature portrait held within the locket was a striking likeness, one Elias recognized with a jolt that sent shivers down his spine. It was the face of the woman connected to his betraying ancestor. Her eyes, though captured in faded pigment, seemed to gaze back with a haunting familiarity. Unfurling the tiny, brittle scroll tucked beneath the portrait, Elias and Cassandra read the cryptic message together. It spoke not of treasure maps or hidden gold, but of a desperate, forbidden love, a secret buried deep not for its monetary value, but for protection against a merciless, unforgiving society. The treasure was never meant to be gold. It was a collection of historical truths, a testament to a life lived in shadow, and a heart guarded fiercely from the world's harsh judgment. A profound realization dawned upon Elias. His ancestor had not sabotaged the early digs out of malice or simple greed, but from a desperate, all-consuming need to prevent the discovery of a scandalous truth. This truth, if unearthed, would have irrevocably ruined his family and, more importantly, destroyed the woman he loved. The curse that had plagued generations of treasure seekers, the elaborate booby traps and the relentless flooding, were not supernatural phenomena but a meticulously constructed illusion, a masterfully orchestrated deterrent designed to keep the secret buried forever. Elias felt a complex mix of anger at the generations of futile obsession, yet also a profound, aching understanding for his ancestors' profound sacrifice. It was a love story, woven into the very fabric of Oak Island's enigmatic history. Cassandra, her rational mind now reevaluating centuries of historical data, found her own research aligning perfectly with Elias's deeply personal discovery. She had dismissed countless peripheral documents as irrelevant, but now, armed with the locket's tale, she revisited her archives. There, she found supporting evidence, obscure local records, and forgotten correspondence that confirmed the ancestor's hidden life, his desperate measures, and the societal pressures that compelled his actions. Her initial quest for tangible historical artifacts had transformed into a deeper appreciation for the raw, poignant drama of human stories, for the secrets hearts keep, and the lengths people go to protect those they love. With this newfound understanding, a map not of gold but of human emotion, Elias and Cassandra meticulously pinpointed the true location of the treasure. It was not in the fabled money pit, but in a cleverly concealed vault, a testament to an ancestor's ingenuity and love. They worked with a quiet reverence, their previous rivalry replaced by a shared purpose. Inside, they found not glittering gold or precious jewels, but a meticulously preserved collection of journals, heartfelt letters, and personal effects. A woman's embroidered shawl, a child's wooden toy, pressed flowers, and faded daguerreotypes. These documents, carefully catalogued, rewrote a forgotten piece of local history, revealing intricate connections to prominent families and long-whispered secret societies, exposing a hidden narrative that had been deliberately suppressed for centuries. They faced a profound moral dilemma. The treasure was not financial wealth but knowledge, potent and sensitive. Exposing these historical truths would undoubtedly cause ripples, potentially damaging the reputations of long-dead but still influential families. Yet, keeping the secret would mean perpetuating a historical inaccuracy, honoring the ancestors' original intent of concealment. The responsibility of this knowledge weighed heavily upon them. After long, impassioned discussions, Elias and Cassandra reached a shared resolution. They would not exploit the secrets for personal gain or sensationalism. Instead, they would carefully curate the information, releasing only what was necessary to correct historical inaccuracies and ensure a more complete understanding of Oak Island's past, without causing undue harm to living descendants. They decided to establish a foundation dedicated to preserving Oak Island's true story, shifting the narrative from mythical gold to the rich tapestry of human drama, sacrifice, and forbidden love. The island, once a symbol of endless obsession and tragic loss, began to shed its ominous aura. The curse was lifted, replaced by a profound sense of understanding, respect, and a quiet peace. Elias, finally free from the burden of his ancestors' supposed failures, found his own redemption. His family's legacy was not one of fruitless searching, but a complex, poignant act of love and protection. His obsession transformed into a purposeful guardianship of the island's true narrative, a custodian of its human heart. No longer rivals, Elias and Cassandra embarked on a new partnership, bound by shared discovery and mutual respect. They dedicated themselves to sharing the real story of Oak Island, a story far richer and more profound than any legend of material wealth. The treasure was never what anyone expected, but its value in truth and understanding was immeasurable. The island had finally yielded its greatest secret, the enduring power of human connection, love, and the profound sacrifices made in their name.